So today we're going to talk about how to fix a broken marriage alone. And it's flat out frustrating and deflating when your spouse isn't helping you fix your broken marriage. And can you really save your marriage alone when your spouse is giving you little effort to fix it? And if you're the spouse making an effort for change, know that it's not your role to make the other spouse do anything. In other words, don't use guilt, blame, sex, money, or anything else to force them to change.
Right.
And the more you push them, the more they'll pull away. And after all, no one wants to feel controlled or even manipulated.
There are, however, things that you can do to draw them closer instead of pushing them away. But I must say that it is important that you don't cling to your spouse in desperation. So basically, your self-confidence or your sense of self-assurance is ultimately most attractive. In a pattern of neediness, it serves as a security blanket of sameness to the more distant spouse.
So what we would suggest is that you invest in your physical attractiveness.
Yes.
Do what it takes to be as physically attractive as you can be. And do this for yourself.
Yes.
So invest in being the best you can be. And it says to your spouse, you can go if you want. I don't want you to, but I'm fine without you. And this may also rekindle the initial attraction they once had with you. And
Right.
at the end of the day, if they leave you, you haven't lost yourself even in the process.
All right, now the next thing that you can do is develop your intellectual capacity. In other words, you change the tone of your conversations. So when complaining, criticizing, blaming, or shaming is the norm, a change in the nature of conversations really helps the situation. So asking stimulating questions over dinner or reflecting on good times or learning something new about them, it'll spark some confidence in you both. And this adds a depth of interest into a relationship that may have become really stale.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about increasing your emotional attraction. So when there's an atmosphere of unhealthy emotions like anger, guilt, fear, or even condemnation, the last thing you think of is attraction. But when you're emotionally stable, you exude confidence.
Right.
That's attractive. It says, no victims here. I'm a person that's going somewhere. And when you're making plans to hang with your friends at the gym or laughing or just expressing joy with your kids, you are attractive as ever.
Right.
And if the process of you living your best life ends up inspiring your spouse to live theirs, that's a win-win.
Yeah, and so the next thing that you can do is to get your spiritual life together. And what we mean by that is if you have fallen into behaviors that are inconsistent with your beliefs, then you've got to turn away from that path, right? So some people turn in the midst of a frustrating marriage to heavy drinking, acting out sexually, or just flat out becoming a mean person. And if you become a different person, you got to get help to reclaim yourself. So as you become a better person, a better version of yourself, it definitely increases attraction.
And when they see that you won't put your life on pause, it changes them. When they see you choosing to be the best version of yourself for you and towards them, you may find it revitalizing their efforts. And it reminds them that you and the relationship are worth fighting for.
Now here's the thing. If these tips don't work to reconcile the relationship, you have improved yourself in the process. And that's what we want. We want you to live your best life, and you need to do it right now.
Yeah.
Don't wait for them to change for you to be the best version of yourself.